All right, so what I was saying before we got interrupted is that to simplify these ratio as fraction in the simplest form, we simply write the ratios as fraction. And to do that, we write the number to the left of the colon over the number out to the right. So here we have 8/3. We say that we cannot simplify this any further, so we leave it as is. Now, for the second one, we would write 4/6. And if we can cancel, if we can find a number that divides both the numerator and the denominator, we do that and try to write this number as simple as possible in its lowest term. So we see where we can divide 4 and 6 by a common factor, which is 2. So 2 into 4 goes 2 times, 2 into 6 goes 3 times. So this ratio simplified as fraction in its lowest term is simply 2/3. All right. Now for the next question, we could write this as 12/4 and search for a common factor to divide both numerator and denominator. In this case, we see where 4 can go into itself and 4 can also go into 12. So 4 into itself goes 1. 4 into 12 goes 3. And so this becomes 3/1. And so that would be the simplest form for this ratio as fraction. And notice that I leave the 3/1 because we want to write this as a fraction. And in order to write a number as a fraction, we must have both a numerator and a denominator. So I know you might be tempted to write this as just 3. But as a fraction, it is actually 3/1. All right, for this one here now, we would have 9/15. And in a similar way, we find a number that can cancel both numerator and the denominator. So 3 can go into 9 goes 3 times. And 3 into 15 goes 5 times. So this would simplify as 3/5. All right, last but not least, we have 8/12. And we can cancel using 4. 4 into 8 goes 2 times. And 4 into 12 goes 3 times. So this would simplify as 2/3. All right, guys. Let me see the hands of those who got all of those correct. All right, this way some. Mr. Giovanni. All right, pretty much everybody seemed to got the hang of that. All right, so let us move on to some more questions now, guys. All right, here we have some other questions. And now I'm just going to give you some time to do this question, then I will continue. All right, so I'll give you about another 5 minutes to work these 3. and then we can move on to any other question that we have. All right, guys. You may go ahead and begin these questions. All right. Miss Cox, are you finished? I see where you have your hand up. All right.
The first two.
Oh, you're finished with the first two. All right. Do you want to just walk us through the first one then, Miss Cox?
I'm not sure I'm correct because we never did first class.
But you were just while I was going through these, right? I was just recapping them. However, did you get a chance to see how we would have expressed ratios in their simplest term?
Yes, sir, but I don't really understand how you convert the dollars into cents. So
Okay. Well, if you know how many cents in a dollar, then all you need to do is to multiply the 2 by how many cents in $1. How many cents make a dollar, Miss Fox?
100, sir?
Yes, 100. And if you have $2, how many cents in total you would have?
200, sir?
Exactly. So if $1 gives you 100 cents, then $2 will give you 200 cents. So 30 cents to $2 would be equal, would be written as the ratio as what?
So, sir, it would be 20 over 200?
So we would write it as the ratio of 30 to 200. And so if we're simplifying it as a ratio, just in a similar way how we cancel fraction, you find a number that can go into the left number of the ratio and the right number. So a number that can go into 30 and 200. Now, it should be obvious that both can be divided by 10, because you could cancel a 0 from the 30 with a 0 from the 200. And here you would have what? 3 to 20. And that would be the ratio simplified in its simplest form, or the lowest term. Is that clear, Miss Scott?
Yes, sir. Sir, we can try other one then.
Right, so the other one would be similar. So go ahead.
So it would be 500 to 80.
So you would have 500 to 80.
Yes, sir.
And then now, simplifying, what do you get?
Sir, me use 10. So I say 10 into 500 goes 50 times.
All right, so when you divide by 10, you simply cancel from both of them. Can we still simplify that though? We would have 50 to 8, that 8 remains.
Yes, sir.
So what could we use now to cancel that down some?
We can use 2.
All right, so let's try 2. So 2 to 50 goes how many times?
25.
25. And 2 into 8?
Goes 4 times.
4 times. Can we go any further?
No, sir.
No, so it will remain as is, right? Because we cannot go any further in terms of simplifying it, so we leave it as is. All right, so here now we have 2 lengths are shared in the ratio of 75. If the first length is 210, what is the second length? Now, who would like to walk me through this one? Miss Green, would you like to walk us through this one?
No, sir.
All right, let me call on someone else. Miss Ashanti, how about you?
Sir, I did not get to work it because I'm still on my way from work. I'm not home as yet.
Okay, Miss Clark, would you like to try this one? Are you there, Miss Clark? I'm not getting any response from Miss Clark, so not sure if she's heard me or.
I would not like to try it.
Could you repeat, Miss Clark?
What you said, sir?
I was asking if you would like to help us with question 8.
No, sir.
All right, Miss Waysam,
Yes, sir.
would you like to walk us through question 8?
Sure, sir.
All right, go ahead.
All right. So the question, sir. So the ratio 7:5,
All
and
right.
the first length, right?
We know the ratio 7:5. They give you these ratios in this question. They usually give you the ratio in its lowest term.
All right, sir. And then we know that the first length is 210, and we want to find out the second length. So we'd have 210 to x.
All right. So what we're doing here, we're comparing the two ratios, the one that is given with the ratio of the known length and the unknown length. So the known length is 210, the unknown length is x. But what we know that these two ratios are exactly the same because it's the same length that we are saying that are in the ratio of 75. Now, in order to solve this, how do we continue from here, Ms. Faisal?
We form equation, sir. So we'd have 7/5.
All right, so we could take the approach of equating them.
Yes, sir.
And then form equation with converting these to fractions.
Yes, sir.
On the left-hand side, we have 7/5.
Yes, sir.
And on the right-hand side, we would write
210
over x.
over x. Yes, sir.
Okay, continue.
Yes, sir. From here, we cross multiply. So I have the denominator of 5 times 210, and then the x times the 7.
And it is important to know that the reason why we cross multiply here is to get rid of the denominators.
Yes, sir.
But it's from the denominators. So by cross multiplying, we take the denominator on the right to multiply the numerator on the left. And in this case, we will get 7x
equal to.
So we get 7x
equal to 1050.
Now we are multiplying the 5 times the 210. Now, if you wish, you may just have it written in this form without calculating it. But sometimes when you do it like this, it becomes more convenient when we are canceling. All right. So now to get rid of the 7, we would have to do what?
We divide both sides by 7, sir. So to make
right.
x the subject, we divide both sides by 7.
And so the 7 on the left will cancel.
The 7 of the new one.
And then on the other side, we would have 5 times 207.
Yes, sir.
So
yes, sir.
Here.
And we see that.
Go ahead.
We see that 7 can go into 210, sir.
Right.
So 7 to 7, 1.
7 to 7, 1.
And then 7 to 210 would be what that? Oh, what that, sir? Hold on. 7 to 21, 30.
All right.
Yes, sir. And then 5 times 30 would give you 150. So the second length would have been 150 meters.
All right. So everybody, are you clear with that? Let me see your hands. Raise your hand if you're following so far and you're understanding how to calculate this. All right. Now, the same question, if you do it in a little shorter, if you take a shorter approach to the same question, all you need to do is to write the ratio that are given. So you write the 7 to 5, and then now the lengths that you're sharing would be in the same ratio. So you would have, sorry, you're supposed to have 210 to X. Now, we know that when we compare, the first ratio here is comparing with the first ratio here. So what we know this ratio and we know this ratio. So we take the smaller ratio to divide this larger one, and then we times it by the second ratio. So in other words, X is equal to we take the 210 divided by the known value for that ratio, 7, and then we times it by the second ratio, second value in the ratio, which is 5. And so we say 7 to 7, 1, 7 into 2, 10 goes 30. And then now we have 5 times 30. 5 is 15 and add a 0. That gives you 150. And so you could actually approach it from that point of view. So still arrive at the same answer, a little less steps in your working. So you could take that approach as well. All right, guys. All right. Everybody's clear on that? Let me see your hands if you're following so far. All right, good. All right, so we're going to see how we can, so we have these two questions here. So you're going to just do these two questions quickly so that we can move on to the next set of questions. As soon as you are finished with question 9, you can raise your hand so that we can go through them quickly. All right? Go ahead and try these two questions, guys. All right, so do we have anyone who already completed question 9 and would like to walk us through question 9? Or should I just call on someone? Miss Green, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
You want to try this one?
Well, not quite finished as yet, sir, but I can start, sir, but not quite finished as
Start.
yet.
All right, let me find out.
Yes, sir.
All right, let me ask someone else. Mr. Ojino?
Sir.
Mr. Ojino?
Yes, sir.
All right. Are you finished with question 9?
No, sir, not yet.
Okay. Miss Cox, are you finished with question 9?
Yes, sir.
You would like to walk us through it?
Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead, Miss Cox.
Sir, so x, which is the unknown factor,
Right.
so to 120 over 8 times 5.
All right, so let us first write down the ratio given. So the given ratio is 8 to 5. Then what is it that we have now? We have 2 amounts of money and they are to share in the same ratio as 8 to 5. They are given the second amount to be 120 and the first amount we don't know. So we're trying to find the first amount. So we're going to represent the unknown with X. So how are we going to write this?
Yes.
This ratio now, Miss?
So, sir, I do it like, sir, I put x. And then, yes, sir, to 120
120, correct.
over 8.
So here we are now. Now, so what we're trying to find out is the X now. What do you have?
Sir, we never do it like that.
All right, just explain how you did it. Just give me what.
Okay, sir. So I put the 8 over 120 times 5 and then I cancel.
All right, so you put the 8 over 120.
Yes, sir. No, 120 over 8. Sorry, sir.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering. So it's 120
over 8
over 8. And just
times 5.
5. All right. And so you
8 into itself 1 time.
8 into itself goes 1.
And 8 into 120 goes 15 times.
All right. 8 into 120 goes 15 times.
Then I multiply across and get 75.
And you get how much?
75 after multiplying across.
All right, 75.
So x will equal to 75.
75 what?
$75.
$75. All right, good. All right, thanks very much, Miss Cox. I see where your effort is paying off. All right, Mr. Ajano, do you want to express 3 to a half in its lowest term for us? Question 10.
I haven't do that as yet, sir.
You haven't done that as yet. All right, let me find out if I can call on Miss Williams. Miss Williams, are you there?
Yes, sir.
are you ready with this question?
No, I'm not finished, sir. I started but not finished.
All right. Any volunteer for question 10? Let me see your hand. Ms. Cavero, are you finished with question 10?
No, sir.
Okay. Mr. Authors, are you finished with question 10? Mr. Campbell, I haven't heard from you in a while, sir. Are you there? Mr. Campbell? Mr. Campbell is missing in action. I'm not hearing him at all.
Sir?
Ms. Waysam?
Yes, question. For number 9, sir. With the ratio 8-5, wouldn't 8 be the one with the bigger amount?
So all right, let me see I see what you're saying. So the 8-5, I think what had happened, maybe we had mixed it up a little bit. So 8-5 should have been what? X2, because we're trying to find what? The first amount?
Yes, sir.
Should have been X2 120. Right. All right. So I think we would have done something wrong in the previous question.
Yes, sir, because it was confusing because, sir, it's not the 8 times the 120. Or,
right. So clearly we're trying to find the first amount. So the first amount is X and the second amount is 120. So I think what we had done was to write the 120 as the first amount. All right, let us just go back through this. So, Ms. Clark, you have something to say?
Yes, sir, because it was puzzling me, sir, honestly.
All right. Yeah, so it's supposed to be in this way. So what we would use the 5 to divide the 120 and then we times it by the 8. So it should be 120 divided by 5 times 8. All right, so we will get a different calculation here. So 5 into itself goes 1. 5 into 120, 5 into 12 goes 2 times remainder how much?
2, sir.
2.
And then now 5 into 20 goes 4, so this would be 24. So the answer should be 24 times 8. And that will give you how much?
192.
192. All right. All right. So the mistake that was made was that the second ratio wasn't written in the correct order. So instead of writing it as X to 120, I think we wrote it as 120 to X. And when we write it that way, what we mistakenly did was to compare it with the 8. We would compare it as being the 8 would be divided into the 120. But because we wrote it in the correct format, it means that we would be calculating the wrong thing. All right? So just make the correction to that one, students, and so we can continue. All right? All right, thanks, Ms. Wason, for pointing that out. All right, who want to do Ms. Wason, would you like to do question 10 for us?
Sir, what I did,
Yes.
what I did, sir, the last time when you showed me this math, well, you actually showed the class.
Mm-hmm.
So I had 3, 2.5, and then I put 3 over 1, sir.
All right.
Divide. So I turned the whole number 3 into a fraction.
So 3 to a half. All right, so generally when we have ratios like these, we want to actually convert the ratio into fraction. Now,
Yes, sir.
to convert a ratio into fraction, we write the colon as the division bar, and the number to the left of the colon, we put that in the numerator.
Yes, sir.
The number to the right of the colon, we put that in the denominator. So what we do here was to write this in a fractional form to say that the numerator would be 3 and the denominator would be a half. From there now, we can simplify this, because once you have a numerator and a denominator, which is a fraction, it means that the numerator is divided by the denominator. So we write 3 divided by a half. And so to simplify this, we're going to do the calculation as when we are doing division of fractions. And if we're dividing by fraction, there's a rule that says that you change your division sign to multiplication and then you the divisor. So the first term, which is the 3, we would rewrite that. The division sign, we would change it to multiplication. And the divisor, the one that comes after the division sign, we would invert it, or we would flip it upside